Are you looking for a fresh cut in Westerly? Step into Rio's Barber Shop in Granite Plaza. Whether it's a classic trim or a trendy new look, we've got you covered. Experience the perfect cut for every age and style in a friendly and relaxed atmosphere. At Rio's, it's not just a haircut, it's an experience. Visit Rio's Barber Shop in the Granite Plaza in Westerly or give us a call to schedule your appointment at 401-315-2208. Your style, our craft, Rio's Barber Shop.
Good morning, everybody. It is not an April Fool's joke. We are here live this morning with the one and only Ken Collins. And we are here for a little breakfast with Ken and Ben action.
How about that?
You've only, how long have you been with us? For 4 months?
December 14th was the first day.
Okay. So you've been with us since December 14th.
That's 4 months.
You've been saying, I could do stuff during the week.
Yeah.
The entire time. And I think maybe it was more Hazel that was like, could you get him out of the house, please, for us a little bit?
She had a lot to do with it, yes, definitely. Mm-hmm.
But either way, we are live and we are here. And weekdays, with the exception of Thursday, where we do business over breakfast, we will be doing breakfast with Ken and Ben.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. I'm glad that you come up with this.
Okay. Yeah, I came up with it. Definitely. It wasn't Hazel threatening me. She was sending me. Yeah. She was calling me. She was calling me every day. Like,
I figured that.
Get him out of the house. Get him out of the house. Get him out of the house.
Yeah. She kept saying, I got to meet Ben. I got to meet Ben. I got to meet Ben. I think she already met Ben. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, she was saying, I got to meet Ben so that I can convince him to make Ken get out of here more.
No doubt about it. Well, when you get used to doing something for so long.
Yeah.
The same routine almost every day, right? And I always thought, when you're younger, and of course that's many moons ago now, I always thought that when you got to the point where you could say, geez, I wish I had to get up every morning and go to work, obviously.
Right.
But when you've been doing something, and what I've been doing for the last 40 years or whatever it is, then when you don't do it anymore, it's like a shock to your body. It's like, I'm used to getting up even earlier than this to go on the air. So once we came together,
I can barely make it by 8:02.
Yeah. Once we got together and decided to put Sports Open Mic on 321 Media, and then I said, geez, this is pretty good. I don't have to get up and do anything until Saturday. But it's crazy because it doesn't take long for that to wear off. Where, wow, I get up now. What am I going to do this morning?
Yeah. Yep.
And I think it's your body that tells you that you've been doing this for so long that you probably should get back to it. And the worst part about it is I don't want to, that's why I do what I do, is because I don't want to get into a rut where, I can sleep every morning till 9 and get up and then hang around the house all day. I don't think that's good for you. I think you have to keep moving. And so I'm glad you come up with this idea. And you and Hazel, great. It saved me.
Well, I just want to say that I completely agree with you. And I think that, I think that that's honestly like a big thing in our culture now is we have so much stock in retirement, right?
Yes.
Like everybody plans for retirement, everybody talks about retirement, and at a certain age you generally have to stop working, but it is horrible for you. Like if you're not someone who has millions and millions of dollars in the bank, who's going to take that retirement to travel to Europe and to
Right.
Go abroad and do all of these things and, have this bucket list and live in an RV and do all of the like blah, 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 blah. Or like, you love golf and you live on a golf course and you go golfing 7 days a week. It's like, okay, well, I had a purpose and now what is today? What makes today different than any other day?
Right.
and that can be really bad for your health and for your mental health and for so and you know, you are, I don't want to say fortunate enough, but you are fortunate enough that you created your life around, at least for the past however many years I've been aware of you, which is a long time, um, around talking and around being a host on the radio and being a broadcaster and all of that stuff. And you know, you can do that forever as long as you have a voice, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
so so why, as long as you're up to it and you want to do it, like why wouldn't you do it? And you haven't lost a step, my friend. And you know, so yeah, so you mentioned it sort of in passing a couple times, and then Dave, because you know we can hear you before the games on
No,
the
I gotta be
things.
careful with that.
So we can hear you on the games, like the producers can hear the mics before games.
Yeah, those are tricky little microphones.
And so
You forget they're on. You forget you have one.
I know. So then
Oh
he
boy.
he he told me one day when you were doing something at Cheraho with the Arudas, he was like, "Man, that guy really wants to do something during the week." He was like, yeah, he really wants to do something during the week. You can tell, like he mentioned it like 3 times to them off air, and I was like, I know. He's mentioned it to me a couple times. He's mentioned it to Gadget, etc. And I was like, all right. So then I'm talking to Dave, my creative partner for the last 20 years. I'm talking to Jackie, my girlfriend, for the last 3 years. As of today, today's our anniversary, by the way.
Happy anniversary.
Love you, bud. Love you, buddy. No, that's what I said last week when it was Braden's birthday. Love you, Jackie. Love my life. And
God bless you, Jackie.
she's a saint. And anyway, so I was talking to them and I was like, you know, Ken really wants to do a morning show. I think Ken really wants to do a morning show. And they were all like, that's amazing. Don't do more than you're already doing, Ben. And I was like, yeah, but I should be doing, the morning show has been on my schedule for 2 years almost. And I don't do it all that often because I'm like, again, this isn't linear, right? Like the radio, it's not radio, it's not TV, it's not linear. If we're on at 8:02 instead of 8, it doesn't matter. If we're on for 40 minutes instead of an hour, it doesn't matter. If we have 2 shows happening simultaneously right now, it doesn't matter, right? It's digital. Um, but but eventually, I was like, yeah, I think it'd be good for me to have and even today, I got out of the car at 7:57 and you had a smile on your face. And I was like, "What's up, Ken?" And you were like, "It's 8 a.m." I was like, "It's almost 8 a.m." And you were like, "Yeah, it's close enough." And I said before the show, "You'll whip me into shape." And I mean it. Like you know, that we all need, sometimes being your own boss is a little bit like being retired. You get up and you don't know what you're doing in the
Right.
morning, and you know, you don't have the structure that someone else implements on you. And that can also be hard in certain ways. We have a couple comments already. Sabrina said, "Hey Ken, no love for me. No love for me."
Hi, Sabrina. How are you? I miss Sabrina.
And then we have Dan LaBelle, who said, "Let's go, the show we all needed, 2 amazing human beings." And then he put a bunch of claps and heart emojis. Thank
Wow.
you to the heir apparent Dan LaBelle. So okay.
He's really all excited too. Dan, he really is.
Oh, that's amazing.
He hit, yeah.
He's
I mean,
the best.
with everything he's got going, you know, with basketball, coaching basketball, and now obviously his main job is teaching. He's going to be a teacher, and he's at Hope Valley School right now.
Dan's going to be a teacher?
Yeah,
I didn't know Dan was going to be a teacher.
Dan did it himself. He did the home thing, and he's a pretty smart kid.
He's all right.
And I never knew that. You know, when you're going through doing this for me for 45 years, whatever it is, you try to imagine what's going to happen when you can't do it anymore, you know.
Yeah.
And this particular program on Saturday that we do talking about has been on the air since, as far as I know, the early '70s. It could be because Carl Grant started it. So I'm thinking, you know, this is a program that you got to keep going. And then, of course, when ERI sold out, you know, then Chris came along, and that was great because we hardly ever missed a beat. And then you get the word that, you know, well, things are different now because we lost Chris, and well, Chris, you know how hard Chris worked. And so now we probably got to sell the radio station, you know, and
Yeah.
move on, which I understand. So now you're thinking, and I'm sitting back there thinking, of what, you know, how am I going to keep this going? And then it's like Ben came from out of nowhere suggesting that I could come to 321 Media. And then, but what I'm getting to is that, and I'm thinking all along, because my son Gary, when I was sick and was out with cancer, and Gary used to do the program with me, also did the morning show too for quite some time while I was recovering. And I said, well, he's probably going to be the one, you know, to take over. Then he got a job at the Postal over in Mystic, and he's got the sweetest job that you ever want. And I could never ask him, don't give that thing up, Gary. I'd love to have it. But then Dan came along, Dan Jr., and I never thought he'd be interested. And I don't want to belabor the point here and ramble on, but Ben, if you knew him when he was like this tall, he wouldn't say two words to anybody. He was very quiet. And then all of a sudden, you know, Dan now is you've seen him. You know, he having trouble talking now. And then when I was talking to him one day, and I talking to him about Sports Open Mic, I said, "You want to come on with us?" I said, "You know, you're welcome," because I know Gary can't make it a lot on Saturdays anyhow. And there you go. I said to him one day, I said, "You know, when something happens to me, I like to keep this program going." And he stood right up and he said, "Gramp, don't worry about it." He says, I'll be there. I'll keep it going if that's what you want." So
I love it, and we're holding him to that contractually.
right.
And that's why his nickname is the heir apparent, and also because he's just amazing in general. So how, and by the way,
Yes.
I don't want to bring this up, but you mentioned it a little bit. And I would just like, I don't want to get into any of the details of it. No details. You were not stolen away from anywhere else.
No.
You were not stolen away.
No.
Nothing bad happened. Nothing like situations happened that made it an inevitability and a necessity.
Well,
so
I can tell the story if you want me to.
You don't have to tell the story.
I don't
want to. No. I don't want to get into the details.
It was very, very simple. Anyhow,
it was very simple.
Yeah, I mean, when I had the conversation with you about you asking me to come here, and you know as well as I do, and so does other people, because I've talked to other people about it. And any conversation I had with you, I also had with the people I worked for.
Yeah.
And it was a mutual thing that we moved the date to December.
Yeah.
To accommodate everybody. And because of the fact that I knew, I was told that as of November 6th or 7th, that the radio station where I worked was going on automation. And that obviously, if it's going on automation, it doesn't need the personnel. And I can understand that move.
Which, by the way, ended up not happening for them. And that's wonderful.
That's good.
That's
glad.
Wonderful. That is wonderful. And I'm glad that they're still going and thriving.
And we parted ways, as far as I know, perfect. But, you know, things happen.
Yeah. So, anyway, I just wanted to.
No, that's fine.
I just wanted to clarify because you mentioned it.
Ben, when everything was out in the open and we did it the right way, then there's no reason not to speak about it.
Yeah, well, I agree. I agree completely. I just wanted to say, like, nothing against that station or those people.
Mhm.
Like, all of the luck in the world.
Absolutely. So do
Um,
I.
but
Don't forget, I worked for them for 25 years.
I know. Anyway, so little. I get personally thrown little digs all the time.
I know you do, and it's very unfair, by
and
the way.
it's just silly. It's just silly.
Yeah.
I don't even. They're two different mediums. They're two different things. You know what
I
I mean?
didn't even know Ben Barber. I didn't even know 321 Media.
Yeah.
I used to go there, just do my thing and go home. And then when we talked, somebody asked me to talk to you. So I knew what was going down. So I said, well, it's not going to hurt to talk. Maybe the guy won't even want me. I don't know. I said, but it's worth going to talk. And that's when we met for a coffee that time. And it was worked out so good between the
You
two
told
parties.
me you told me what was happening to
Right.
you specifically. Never mind whatever else. But you told me what was happening to you specifically, and I said, yeah, you can.
Right.
Well, you have a home, absolutely. And it was whenever you're ready, whenever that
That's
stops
right.
being a thing, whenever you have to, sure, absolutely.
And
we pushed that date back
we did.
several times.
We pushed it back because, and then we even pushed it to the fact that when I started here, I even went back and did the credit union basketball tournament because they really didn't have anyone that could do it, you know?
And there's no reason not to.
No.
It's there is zero competition. There is zero
right
animosity from this end.
No.
Like there is nothing of anything.
I don't think we ever sat down and really had a conversation where I've heard from you that, well, I'm glad I stole you away from that. No, that didn't happen.
Absolutely, absolutely not.
It was a mutual thing. And by the way, if they didn't even put up the radio station for sale,
yeah,
probably none of this would have ever happened.
Right, but that's circumstances change, and I have no idea what's happening with that, and I wish everybody good luck.
So do I.
I have no idea what's happening with that. I don't care to know what's happening with that. I wish everyone good luck.
Yeah, me too. I don't ask people what's going on. If someone wants to tell me something, that's fine. But you've been good to me. Let me do basically what I want to do, and everything's worked out good. I can't believe we've been here
4 months,
February, March, April, 4 months.
Yeah, and by the way,
I can't believe you put up with me for 4 months.
And by the way, yes. There are people who do both.
Yeah,
there are several people who have shows on both channels. It does not bother me whatsoever. I love it. I think it's great. There are people who advertise with both companies.
Right.
I think that's wonderful.
Yes.
I have never in my life said to an advertiser, you should leave somewhere else and come to us. That is insane. We all do different things. You know what I mean? There is zero competition between a radio station, between a newspaper, between the TV. There is nothing. I believe in a world of abundance, and I also believe in both things. I believe in both. I believe in more. I believe in all of those things and opportunities, and I just think it's silly to pretend that there's competition when there's not. It's not a big deal, and there's zero animosity on this end.
And it could be actually when you think about what you just said. I remember when I decided to do the Sports Open mic and come here and do it. It was on the 14th of November. I remember the date, and I remember someone saying to me in this room that's in the room now, "Listen, you can do during the week all I have you for is for Saturday to do sports open mic.
Yeah.
In other words, you're telling me if I wanted to go back and do something on the radio or whatever, I could do it. I
Yeah.
wasn't obligated.
Not at all.
And I made that known. So
Yeah.
I feel good about everything. Obviously I miss Chris. I go
Yeah.
see Chris every Sunday. I take a ride down and Chris and I have a little chat. People think I'm wacky, but that's all right. But Chris treated me good for 25 years. But
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
here we are.
And yeah, I loved Chris. I never worked with him directly. I was never associated with the radio station. Never did anything like that. We just had a great mutual respect for each other and loved chatting. And you know, as DJ reminded me the other day, I used to like drop off presents to the station and be like, "Hey, listen, I know that you go out and film stuff in the businesses
Sure.
and whatever. Here's a little phone tripod for you." And then I got shout outs for that all the time, which was so kind. But anyway, yeah. So it is what it is, and it's completely different. So
Yeah.
it's not
And,
anyway.
and he worked hard. I watched Chris.
Oh, amazing.
And at first I said, this is not going to work. And then the more I watched him, and I said, this guy, he never winds down. I mean,
Yep.
he did everything. The advertising. If the transmitter went off, he went and fixed that. I mean, I broadcast from the shack down there with him during a couple of storms.
Yeah.
We're sitting in that shack doing whatever we're doing, telling people what's going on. So I mean, he was great. And I think I told his mother that there'll never be another Chris DiPaolo.
Absolutely.
And I believe that because there's no one that's going to work any harder than Chris.
Yep.
I mean, Chris never stopped. So there's not going to be anybody that's on this planet now that would put the effort in that he did.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anybody going to be born that's going to do that either. That's the way it is now. So
yeah, absolutely.
But
One
Chris
of
treated me
a
okay, yeah.
singular individual. And yeah, absolutely. So
all right. So how'd you get into this business now?
I've been doing this for 20 years this year.
No, really?
Yeah. So I know, right? I didn't just sprout up a couple years ago. So in 2005, I was a senior in high school. I was the president of the drama club, and
That's at Charahoe.
At Charahoe, and the theater director was leaving. She was staying as an English teacher, but she was giving up the theater department, and they needed the kids wanted to do a summer show. So some of the kids came to me and said, "Will you direct a summer show?" And I said yes. And I didn't know what I was doing. So I called my arch rival in high school, my the person that I had no love loss for, because we went up for the same parts and we were in competition with each other. Dave DeAngelis, I called him and I said, "I need you to be the lead because I need somebody who knows how to act and I don't have to be in charge of it. And I need you because your dad has been the theater director at Westerly High School for, at that point, 25 years.
Right, yeah.
And I don't know what I'm doing. So I need your help. And, I need somebody who can be like, hey, we have this is how you buy the rights to a show. This is how you do publicity. This is how you do all of that stuff. So we needed a mentor. And so Dave and I got to producing that first show, and about halfway through it, we became best friends. And we were like, "Do you want to do this every day for the rest of our lives? Like, work together and produce shows and stuff?" And so we made a little production company, and we So we made a little production company. We did um we did the shows. It was great. And then we went to New York to acting school. Um came back, did a bunch of other things. Continued to do theater, but we were young. I was 17 and he was 16 when we
Wow.
started. We had no money, we had no budget for anything, and we had to advertise ourselves. So luckily, it was right at the dawn of social media and Facebook, and we got good at marketing ourselves to the point where other businesses and organizations in town were like, hey, could you make a video for our business? Or hey, could you film our event? We see that you film your plays, and could you film our event? And then, that turned into doing the marketing for Mesquamacut Beach. And about 15 years ago, starting podcasts. We started to do podcasts. And and then in 2020, I had been doing podcasts for almost 10 years. We had been doing remote podcasts for a while as well, because one of our first podcast hosts that we ever had, one of our first clients, got really successful with his online business and decided he didn't need to live in Rhode Island anymore. So he moved to Florida, but he wanted to keep doing the podcast. So we were using Zoom 3 years before anybody else, and we were recording podcasts remotely like that. And then, and by the way, he eventually moved even further away to the Dominican Republic and like has a house in the mountains now. And then so COVID hit, and all of a sudden, like, because of the connections with the beach and with Caswell, the governor was on the phone with me like the next day after the shutdown. Like, hey, we don't know how to get more than 500 people on a call. Can you broadcast something for us remotely? Because everybody was locked down. So I had this like one skill set that everyone needed. And so it kind of blew up from there. Shane Belanger, in the meantime, he and I got put together to help do Christ Church. And he had run Westerly Life for a while and Westerly Live, and he was doing the live streaming of the sports games. And so so we were doing the marketing. Things got really big, and I was like, I can't do this by myself. Like, this is too big. So when we got to the point where our clients were like the governor and stuff, Dave was like, I'm out. I don't want to be a business owner with this. This is we got too big.
Yeah.
We got too, or it wasn't
Too
that
big
it was
too early.
It wasn't that it was a big business. Yeah, 15 years was too early. No, it wasn't that that it was a big business, but it was just that, like, the clients were more important, and or bigger names and stuff. So he was like, I would much rather just do the creative stuff and not be a business partner. I accidentally set my alarm off on my car while I was talking. So anyway, he was like,
That's all right.
he was like, I'd rather be creative than a business partner. And so I called one of my other best friends, Patrick Wiley, who is a incredible serial entrepreneur, who has started several incredible businesses that did really well, and is just a great business mind. And I was like, will you please run this for me so that I can just play? Because I like to have fun, and I like to do the creative stuff. So we did that 4 years ago now, and that became 321. And then Shane eventually was like, I want to move. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to move. So he sold me Westerly Live,
Right.
and then we took over doing the sports and whatnot. And so we took what he was doing and put our marketing ability on top of it, and it went from 300 views a month to 300,000. So
Good for you.
thanks.
Great. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, I think we did some games, because I never knew, when I have DJ Gadget, my good friend,
Yeah.
at my side and engineering games that we were doing on the radio. I never knew whether I was on the radio and I was on Wesley Live or 321.
Yeah.
Just keep going, just keep going.
Yeah.
So, but she was great. She does a good job.
You did a couple.
I hope she didn't hear that.
Yeah. No, it's
I
too
give
early
it
for
too
her.
much credit.
It's too early for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did a couple games. So, there were a couple games that when we started doing them, when we took over from Shane, where there is a radio feed from you and Lou and DJ, and then there's a feed from Greg Morano. We did that for a couple times, and then we didn't do it anymore. There was a lag, so the radio portion of it was a little bit off. Actually, it was a little bit early. So you would call a touchdown before a touchdown would happen on the thing.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So it was easier to do it the other way.
Yeah.
Now we could have had you with the lapels on, or take that feed and have another and have a wireless feed from that board up to the camera, and had done it that way. But it still wouldn't have worked with the camera breaks and all of that stuff, with the commercial breaks and stuff. So, but yeah, but yes, you for a couple games were on 321 and WBLQ together.
Yeah. I thought I was, and with her, she said, don't worry about it. Everything's fine.
Yeah. By the way, that was approved, and that was
no problem. Okay, DJ. No
Yep.
problem.
And then and then one day there somebody was like, don't do it anymore. Someone over there, I don't know who it was like, just don't do it anymore. But anyway, so what do we got going on in I know that you have some sports
I didn't
stuff.
know how this this format was going to go, so I just put some sports stuff down. But when you go into a new thing,
Yeah.
and because it's not new for me to be up early and do the morning show, but this is when he has breakfast with Ken and Ben. But
brought to you today by Bessie and
the official drink of 321 Media. But I always figure that the worst thing to do for me is to put down things and then try to read them, because that never works with me.
Okay.
I tried that with Sports Open Mic. I said, you know what? I'm gonna make a format, and this is what we're gonna go by every week. And it lasted about as long as I could look at it. It went right down.
Yeah.
It just, to me, it has to be as it happens, and that's what I did with the morning show for a long time. I mean, we had people calling in, phone calls, which I thought was nice, because you got the people involved in the morning show that were not executive directors of the Pawcatuck Neighborhood Center, or something.
Just normal. Just people.
These were just people that took to the radio state. This was at ERI, and we had people calling in. I had people delivering breakfast to us every morning. Ricky Serra, his wife would Minnie would make. I know him. I probably wouldn't know him if I walked into their house, but I know Ricky because he used to bring the breakfast. Couldn't wait for him. But we relied on phone calls. And when I started, the last morning show host I had was Dina Grills, Petrowski, and she did a great job. She worked on the FM side for ERI, and then when they went off the air, then she came over to us. She was actually there, and I just grabbed her one morning and said, "Why don't you sit in with me on the morning show?" So she sat there, and she was with me till the end. But I've had some great people that hosted the program with me, and that's basically whether it be Jim McCormick, Charlie LaPresto, uh, Mark Urso. It doesn't matter. All of those people just fell into place, and we just winged it every morning, just like we're basically doing this morning. So what I wrote down here probably isn't going to amount to nothing anyhow. People don't want to really hear. I always thought that, uh, especially with Sports Open Mike, which is on. Well, it's on at 8 now, but when we used to go on later, I said, people, if they're baseball fans and they're football fans, then they're going to want to wait for me to tell them how their team made out last night.
Right.
Especially now. It's even worse when you got the phones, you can click on and get the scores immediately. But one thing is interesting in sports right now is that you got the Final Four coming up in men's basketball, and they're all number one seeds. All number one seeds made it to the Final Four. On the women's side, 3 out of the 4 made it to the Final Four.
How do you feel about the death of the Cinderella story in college basketball? There's no Cinderella story there.
No, there isn't.
There's nothing.
The highest seed that's in the tournament is UConn.
Yeah.
They're 2. It's unbelievable. Yeah. So if you picked all the favorites, you're probably going to cash in. But
which probably ruined a lot of betting pools. Honestly, you know what I mean?
I would think
it's the year of the novice. The year of the novice who just went, these guys are all number one.
Yeah,
let's do it. Cool, you just won your pool. Congratulations.
Yeah.
So that's it's very interesting.
Yeah,
it's very interesting.
I know it's happened before, but I'm not sure. It's probably been a while before you had the 4. And in this one, if actually we'd have had to get UConn upset to have all 4 number ones in the tournament. So they're the only ones, and they're number 2. So they got to go up against UCLA. That should be a good one.
UCLA
at 7 o'clock.
That made you laugh way harder than I thought that it would.
Well, every time I hear UCLA, I think of the Bob Terry story. I'm sure you've heard that.
No,
you haven't heard it.
No.
Well, people that are listening probably have heard it, but we were at ERI, and with Carl Grand was in charge and part owner, we used to do football, basketball games because we had the AM and FM. So we had the capabilities of going to New London, to Waterford, to Ledyard. So we would do all these football games during the year. So then when we got to Thanksgiving, Carl would always do obviously the Westerly Stonington game. Me and Chris Berman, who was with me for a year, we used to get sent over to New London and do phone reports. They had those payphone things. You remember them?
Yeah.
We used to have to put quarters in. But anyhow, one day Carl needed another person, so he gets his good friend Bob Terry, who knows nothing about sports. So Bob Terry goes to, I think it was in Norwich or somewhere, wherever he was. And Bob Terry was a very prepared person because I used to do softball reports for the local softball here in Westerly and Charahoe every Sunday morning. And right on the money, boy, he'd call me. I had to get up early and do those reports. And you ready to go, babe? 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Go.
That's where we got the name from. Bob
recorded, yeah. So anyhow, get back to Thanksgiving, and Carl says, Bob, you got to go do some reports. Bob says, I don't know what do you want me to do? Just tell us what's going on. It's only going to be a short thing, and then you know, say we'll go back to Kyle Grant and Westerly. So Bob gets prepared, as got all the rosters, all the paperwork he needs, gets over to Norwich or wherever it was, bright and early in the morning before no one else got there. Got himself a good seat in the top of the bleachers. And just the game just started. And just as the game starts, a gust of wind comes along and blows Bob's papers right off the desk in front of him. So Bob has nothing in front of him now except air. And the game has started. And Carl went to let's go to New London or wherever he was and check in with Bob Terry. So Bob gets on. He has, of course, he has no papers in front of him. So he says, "Oh, thank you, Carl." He says, "Well, right now the team in the whites got the ball and they're running down the field, and the team in the blue shirts are chasing them, and they're still chasing them. They didn't catch them. So the white team scores first. Back to you, Carl." Something like that. But he was great. He was all prepared, and all his paperwork got blown all over the place. But
Oh, that's amazing.
we had a lot of stories about Bob Terry, but he was a good newsman.
So okay, I had another. I just thought that it was funny. When we used to do, we still had payphones when I was a kid, and when I was in high school, we would have payphones and we would have to call, like, you'd have to call home, like, "Hey mom, hey dad, I'm ready to get picked up from school."
Yeah.
But I never had quarters. So you'd have to call collect. And I'm sure many, many, many people did this. You'd have to call collect, but you didn't want to pay for it, right? So this is what you'd get. "Hello, you have a collect call from..." "Hi mom, it's Ben. I'm at school. I'm ready to get picked up. Thanks, bye." And so you'd have the quick, and I just thought that it would be really funny if you had, "Hello, you have a collect call from the Bulldogs are up by 7 in the top of the 6th inning, and Michael Poole is pitching, and he has a no-hitter going. Bye." Like, that's just save the quarter,
Save
call,
the quarters,
save the
yeah.
quarter, call collect. But of course, it's on the radio, and you have the collect call part at the beginning. That would be amazing.
Oh yeah, the old payphones. Chris Berman, when he worked here for a year, he used to say that all the time. "Remember, Kenny? Remember we had to go look for those phones. We had the first thing we did when we got to the field is find a phone booth, because we had to run sometimes from the field all the way back to the school."
Where does Superman change now? Like, if they're doing a Superman movie
Right.
in 2025, 2026, where does Superman change?
That's a good question. Yeah, because
What-
that was his.
That was his go-to. His go-to
Yeah.
was the phone booth, and now no phone booth.
That's a good question.
I feel like we should still have phone booths. Just cause they're fun,
they should have them. When's the last phone booth you seen?
Somewhere,
where, I
somewhere,
mean?
New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sometime
in
when I was
Westerly. The last ones I remember were at the train station.
Yeah, I don't
And
remember the last
also-
time.
Down by the pizza place on Main Street.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember seeing phone booths anywhere around here.
You're too young.
I know. I'm sure I used some in Westerly, but
We got any more messages or anything?
we
How about
have.
Sabrina? She's from Ottawa,
Yeah,
We got to find a way to get her on.
we got to get some local politics for Sabrina. Not here. I don't want to talk politics here, but we'll talk local politics. And
You
know what I mean? I want to
don't-
know. No, Ken. I want to know what the selectman in Ottawa is doing.
Oh yeah,
That's what I want to know. Not regional politics, not state politics. No. I want the local politics, but I want them in Ottawa. I don't want them here. I don't want to talk about that.
right. No, I
Just
don't.
Ottawa.
That's one thing I never did is got it political. I don't.
I hate it.
No.
There's a reason why we.
I
Don't
just
do
want to
it.
go on. My thing was just go on and whatever happens, and just have a little fun.
Yep.
And I know Sabrina can sing. She's got some records out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and she's I've never met her in person. You know, I've seen her on that Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we can get her on some morning.
Um.
Is that possible?
Yeah, we can get her on anytime. So okay. So I have a comment here. We
Oh,
we did a little post this morning on 321. Um. So far it's been unanimous. Sometimes we do questions of the day on sometimes we do questions of the day on the 321 Facebook page. And today's hold on, why is this not will you follow me now? Yes, it does. Okay, good. Um this is based on you yesterday. And DJ Gadget said that she was going to make you some homemade peeps. So I put up a poll. Peeps, disgusting or delicious?
yeah.
Uh, Joshua Mason says no, thank you. Bobby Joe Van Alstine says disgusting. Uh, Lina O'Leary says gross. Tracy Wise put a nauseous emoji. Joe Pennell, a trash can. Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce, a gift that says, first of all, ew. What are your thoughts, peeps? Good or disgusting?
The peeps you buy in the store,
Yeah,
yeah,
Easter peeps.
yeah, I eat them. I think they're all right. Well, I don't
What is wrong with you, Ken?
know.
What is wrong with
Did
you?
you ever have a peep?
Yes, I've had a peep.
Is any good?
No,
Why? What don't you like about them?
they're disgusting.
Why are they disgusting? All it is what marshmallow or whatever.
It's like not even a real marshmallow. Like it's not good. It's not good.
Oh,
I'm against peeps.
I guess so.
Would you put peeps on pizza?
No, I just eat them like.
Would you put peeps on pizza? Do you put pineapple on pizza?
I imagine you could put pineapple.
But do you put pineapple
No,
on
I
pizza?
don't. I'm strict. I'm just a plain guy.
Yeah, just
Keep it
cheese.
simple for me.
Cheese? Any pepperoni? Sausage maybe?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'll have that.
Okay.
But I'm pretty much keep it simple type thing.
You're never like a throw me some banana peppers on there.
I don't change. I don't. I don't like to try anything like new. And
That's
plus,
fair.
I have some issues too
Right.
eating, so that doesn't help me.
All right.
Ever since I had that radiation, I'm gonna get her too on someday. Dr. Evans,
Okay.
we'll get her on. I'd like to get her here in person. I'm gonna try that first.
Let's talk a little bit right now about this coming Friday is the
Yep.
Mesquamaket Beach Luau.
Oh yeah, that's always a big event, and I've never been to it. I haven't. I don't
Really?
think I've ever been to it.
Well, it's
No,
gonna
they
be
have it the same time every year.
6:30. Yeah.
I
Or
mean,
the same time of year? No, it used to be in February.
that's why.
It used to be in February. They moved it to April. It's at the Windjammer. And it is, I should know this off the top of my head. The 20th annual Aloha Luau will be Friday, April 4th, 2025, starting at 6:30 at the Windjammer. Tickets are $25 in advance. You can get them on eventbrite.com right now. Just search Mesquamaket Luau on Eventbrite. $30 at the door, or you can get a big kahuna table for $10 for $275. Live music featuring Brian Cabral and DJ Mike Land will also be there. It'll be great. There's food, there's a raffle, there's an auction, music, and everything goes to support the Mesquamaket Business Association celebrating its 20th year. And if you want to help keep the businesses thriving in Mesquamaket, if you want to help keep the trash off the streets, the drive-in going, all of that stuff, go down and support the Mesquamaket Beach Aloha Luau this Friday. And we're going to have Rebecca Green, who used to be the owner of Cold Stone Creamery, She's the treasurer for the NBA. She will be on the show this week with you and I,
Oh, that's nice.
probably tomorrow, and she'll give us a shout. She'll call in. Yeah, I can't believe you've never been to the luau.
We were always doing. That's why I asked you when, but we were always doing something the night they had that.
Yeah. Well, it was February. If it was February, then basketball probably Friday night basketball.
That's what it was. Yeah. I know
but-
every year. Yeah, we would have a basketball game. That's the way it went.
Well, 20th annual. You gonna be there?
Well,
You
we'll
and
see.
Hazel?
Yeah, I'll try. With Hazel, it's tough. With
Yeah. Maybe Dan will go with you. Dan? He's not watching anymore, I'm sure.
He's in school now.
Yeah. So anyway, the Aloha Luau, it is a fantastic time. It's great. I've been at 8 or 9 of them now, 10 maybe. Always a good time. And then also today is 401 Gives, which is another thing that I found out that you don't know about.
No, all I know is 401 is April 1st.
Yep. Yes, absolutely. So 401 is also the area code of Rhode Island.
Mhm.
And today is a gigantic giving initiative set forth by the United Way of Rhode Island. And so if you go to 401gives.org, which let me just make sure that is the right. Yep. So if you go to 401gives.org, and I'm going to pull it up on screen for everybody, except for Ken. So if you go to 401gives.org, right there, there is, so far today, there has been 3,415 donors. And that number keeps 3,440 donors, 943,895 raised for 540 different organizations.
Wow.
And that number just went back up again and again. Now it's 944,220 raised. So we're closing in on $1 million before 9 a.m. There's 1 day, 9 hours, 40. There's 1 day, 9 hours, 4 minutes, and 25 seconds left to do this. You can look for your nonprofit right there. You can search, or you can search location, or you can select a cause: animals, arts and culture, community activists, disability services, so on and so forth. All sorts of different. If you want to find a cause that you want to support, you can go on and do that. If you want to find a location, I know in Westerly, I know that the Johnny Cake Center, the Warm Center, the Chorus of Westerly, they're all big in it. I know the Alzheimer's Association that we do a lot of work with is a part of the 401 Gives campaign. And you can literally just type in Westerly just like that, and you can see the United Theater.
Are we on there?
Are we what? 321?
Yeah, me
No,
and you.
we're not a nonprofit.
Me and you are.
We're not well, that's true. A whole bunch of stuff for Johnny Cake, Fresh Harvest
I
Kitchen.
put our name on there, maybe we get something.
No, stop, Ken.
All right.
That's not the point of it.
Okay.
Fresh Harvest Kitchen. Gina Fuller was in here yesterday from the Southern Rhode Island Conservation District. Stand Up for Animals. Westerly Land Trust, Next Up Music, Westminster Youth Ensemble, they're great. Frank O'Lean Center, love them. The Watch Hill Conservancy, Heroes Horizons, love Heroes Horizons. Second Serve Resale, Yellow Horse, Charlestown Land Trust, Community 2000 Education Foundation, Salt Ponds Coalition, Water Quality Monitoring, and these are just some of the local ones. Wood River Health, they are a sponsor here at 321. You can go on and show them some love. Washington County Coalition for Children. So many Wellbeing Collaborative, Tamaqua Museum. Like, basically every nonprofit, or nearly every nonprofit in here, has this. So it's really great. And if you want more information on it, you can go to 401gives.org. 401 Gives is a statewide day of giving, April 1st, 2024. It's 2025. They should have. Come on, guys. Fueled by the power of social media and collaboration, 401 Gives is an initiative of the United Way Rhode Island. The online fundraising campaign is designed to bring a collective voice to the nonprofit community and deepen the state's culture of giving. This giving challenge combines a state-of-the-art platform with a sophisticated media strategy to highlight the impact of Rhode Island's nonprofit sector, with accounts for 18%, which accounts for 18% of the state's total workforce. The inaugural one was 5 years ago on April 1st, 2020, which they had planned for and didn't even realize that it would be, 2 weeks into a pandemic.
Yeah, right.
It brought in $1.3 million for 366 nonprofits. The most recent one in 2024 brought in $3.8 million for 597 nonprofits. So you have from 6 a.m. today to 6 p.m. tomorrow for 401 Gives. And right now, by 9 a.m. on the first day, so in the first 3 hours, they're already at $1 million.
Yeah.
And they're already at $1 million. Their most ever was $3.8 million for 597 nonprofits last year. So let's see if we can't get to 600 nonprofits and over 4 million. I think we're going to get there.
Yeah, definitely.
But this is incredible. And if you want to check out the leaderboard, you can. These are the top organizations right now. Foster Forward has raised $73,350 with 73 donors right now. The Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Community Center has raised almost $59,000. The Audubon Society, Community Music Works, the Village Commons of Rhode Island, Girl Scouts of Southeastern New England, the Gordon School, United Way of Rhode Island, Contemporary Theater Company has raised almost $10,000. So definitely go check out 401 Gives. Ken, I can't believe you didn't know about this.
They're gonna go over 4 million.
Oh, I would assume so. Yeah,
I'd say 5 anyhow.
Yeah, I hope so. And again, if you want to support local, you can search Westerly, Charlestown, Mystic. Not Mystic. That's not Rhode Island.
No.
But you can search Westerly, Charlestown, Richmond, Hopkinton, Exeter, Coventry, wherever you want to give your donations and help out some fantastic causes.
Wow.
So
It's great.
do you have a joke that we can end on?
A joke? No, I have no joke. I do want to mention Tots and Brown, and we're going to have some guests on Saturday. I told you about it.
Okay.
This is a guy that won the marathon.
You did tell me about
coming up.
this. Yes.
And we're going to have some guests. I think Jim Hurst, who works over at the Postal. Nick Batone, I think, is coming in.
Okay.
And I just heard that maybe Larry Hirsch might join them too. So that's on Saturday Sports Open Mic.
Larry Hirsch of Larry Hirsch
Still
Boulevard.
see Larry out on the road.
Excellent.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Excellent.
So that's.
I went to a.
I'm not good at telling jokes, so if you have one.
Well, no, I took. Speaking of Larry Hirsch and Larry Hirsch Drive or Avenue or Boulevard or whatever it is over there, we went over to Stand Up for Animals, the animal center the other day. On Sunday morning, there was a free rabies clinic where you could take your pets and whatever. And I was voluntold the night before to go by Jackie to go take my future mother-in-law someday to go get rabies shot. And so we went down and did that. And it was great. Now, they did say when she got to the front of the line, usually you have a dog or cat with you. But
You are bad.
I'm kidding.
Yeah,
We took
I figured you were.
we took but no, there really was
Now
a
you're talking about your future
well,
mother-in-law?
I mean, nothing's official. So,
Well, but it could be.
well, not after I made that joke.
No. Yeah, you probably took care of that.
Can I tell you? So today is Jackie and I's anniversary, right?
Oh,
And
happy anniversary.
Ken, I told you that at the beginning. We've already been through this. So so our first date was at the Malted Barley, right?
Yeah.
And about halfway through the date, I'm like, oh, it's April Fool's. It's April Fool's. Wow. And she went, imagine if I told you to come here and then you came and sat down and I just texted you ha ha ha, April Fool's. And just ghosted. I was like, that'd be so mean.
Yeah.
Why would you? She was like, now that I thought about it, I thought it would be funny. And I was like, okay, great. So can't believe I'm still with her. I guess the April Fool's joke was actually showing up for the date.
So where you taking her today? Tonight?
Nowhere.
Nothing.
No.
Flowers or something like that.
No, she doesn't like flowers. I would go to Broadview Florist and Garden Center immediately if she liked flowers. She doesn't like flowers. No.
Candy.
She likes candy.
A nice box of chocolate.
Yeah,
Nice.
she likes candy. She likes I think she's gonna come here. I have a little bit of a lull in the middle of the day, and I think that she's gonna come here and we're gonna grab some salads from Pizza Place and hang out for a little bit, and then yeah, but I don't think we have anything really special planned or anything.
You got to get the chocolates.
I got to get the chocolates.
That's
Ken,
right.
how do you make? How many years now for you and Hazel?
Oh my goodness. 50 something.
All right.
60.
How do you make love last for 50 years?
Friendship.
You went serious. I love that. I thought you were gonna make a joke. I love that. Yeah, friendship. That's great.
Take care of one another.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
We've been pretty lucky. I've been pretty lucky.
Yeah, she
She's a
hasn't
great
been very
person.
lucky.
No,
she's.
I said she has been pretty lucky.
Oh, I thought you said you've been pretty lucky.
Oh, I've been pretty lucky to have her.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you said that
definitely.
you've been. I thought you said you've been
No.
pretty lucky, and I was saying she has not been pretty lucky.
She's been pretty lucky. No, I've been pretty lucky. You got that right the first time.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Hazel.
Yeah,
and
she's a sweetheart. Yeah.
absolutely. All right, guys. Thank you so much. This has been Breakfast with Ken and Ben. Want to say thank you to our sponsors. Want to say thank you to Bess Eaton.
We're gonna do this again tomorrow.
Well, that's the plan. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll be back tomorrow,
Oh,
and then
good.
again on Friday.
Right.
So,
Okay. I
All
got
right.
my schedule. Yeah.
all right.
Great.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll talk to you all real soon. Bye for now. Experience local excellence with Roof Right Roofing in Charlestown, Rhode Island. With over 40 years of unmatched expertise, Roof Right specializes in architectural shingles and holds the prestigious title of GAF Master Elite Installers. Known for their commitment to the community and support for local initiatives, Roof Right is your trusted partner for all of your home's roofing needs. Call today for a free estimate at 401-212-4140.
Hi, this is Dan from Lathrop Insurance. In this challenging insurance environment, Lathrop Insurance can be your beacon in the storm to help you find the coverage you need at the right price. Now, more than ever, you need a partner in the insurance industry that can work with multiple carriers to make sure you have the right coverage at the right price. Lathrop Insurance carries home, auto, and business insurance and can be reached at 401-596-2525. We've been supporting the local community since 1939, and we look forward to working with you.
What's going on, everybody? It's Patrick down here at the Wireless Zone at Dunn's Corners at 224 Post Road, and everybody down here is getting the brand new iPhone 16. We have it here in stock. The best part is right now, if you trade in your old phone, you get it for free. We got deals all weekend, awesome savings. Come on down and see us, 224 Post Road, Dunn's Corners, Verizon Wireless Zone. We'll see you soon.
D&V Mechanical specializes in the installation, maintenance, and servicing of Mitsubishi Ductless mini split heat pump systems. We are certified by Mitsubishi as Diamond Elite contractors and factory trained and up to date on the proper procedure of the installation and service of Mitsubishi Ductless heating and air conditioning ductless heat pumps. We assist with the paperwork to reduce much of the stress-related documentation required to get the state rebates and federal tax incentives. We are not a jack-of-all-trades, master-of-nothing company. We are masters of ductless heat pumps. It's what we do, and it's what we know.